Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah. Dear brothers and sisters, I wanted to share with you some thoughts and advice regarding the topic that we recently spoke about, which is the will and inheritance. In the Muslim communities, whether it is in the East or the West, have many challenges and issues and problems. One of the biggest problems that we have are the issues of divorce, the issues of mental health, and on top of these issues, together with divorce and whatever is related to that and mental health, is the issue of the will and the inheritance. So I wanted to shed the light on some problems regarding this particular subject. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described in details, and mostly in the Quran, the division of the inheritance. When a person dies, whatever they had in this life in terms of properties, wealth, money, and assets, once they pass away, it's not theirs anymore. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided that wealth in a very specific manner. And He made it detailed, and He mentioned all the details related to it, because this issue has the potential to create divisions, cutting off ties, problems between siblings and family members. So we find that it is likely that people will not be fair if they had taken on this task of dividing their wealth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the option to the person before he passes away to freely donate or give away 1/3 of their property, 1/3 of their wealth. And the rest is divided according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet mentioned. It is not up to the individual to prevent somebody from his family to inherit. It is not up to the individual to decide which person gets what. And also within that third that the person has the ability to dedicate to worthy causes, or donate to a masjid, or dig a well, or help the poor and the needy, he's not to give out that portion to a person who is to inherit, such as a son or a daughter or a wife. And also the person who passes away is advised to give instructions to his family on what to do in case of death. And this is a topic, a taboo subject that Muslim families don't talk about, but it is of utmost importance to advise the family members that we are to follow the Quran and the Sunnah when it comes to the wills and inheritance. and also in the way the person is buried, where he is to be buried, who does the washing, if he has preferences of a particular person or a particular cemetery, and advise the family members not to fight over wealth and properties, and to take care of the female members of the family. It is interesting that the people who fight Islam, people who criticize Islam, they always refer to the portion in the Quran where it says that a male inherits double the amount of a female. And it is indeed mentioned in the Quran that in general, in case of the surviving children, in general, the male would inherit double the amount of a female. And what they fail to understand is that this system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us and designed for us, this lifestyle, puts the burden of financial support of the household on the males of the family. The head of the household is the male, and the male has the responsibility, the financial responsibility, and as a result he's given more in terms of inheritance. Also, we have to understand that it's in the cases where a female inherits half of her sibling, from all the cases, the case where she inherits half are very, very few. In most cases, a female will be inheriting more than a male. And it is also mentioned in more than one verse of the Quran, where if a person is survived by a sister and he does not have any children, she will be inheriting half. And by inheriting half, she's most likely taken more than any other male within the family who are inheriting. A brother one day sent me an email asking about the division of the inheritance, and the type of wording that he used in the email, he's mentioning the family members that are to inherit, and among the members that he mentioned the grandmother. And when he mentioned the grandmother, he said that she is very old. She is very old. And by mentioning that she is old, it is likely that the person intends or means that she's too old to inherit. What is she going to do with the money if she inherits? And you would find that some of the problems, especially in the Muslim countries, is that, first of all, female members who are supposed to inherit, they are not given anything. And you would hear people saying that, oh, so and so, she's going to get married and her husband is going to take care of her, so she shouldn't get anything. So most often, females will not get a thing from the inheritance. Let alone that in this particular email, this brother is probably thinking that because she's too old, she doesn't need the money. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, it's worthy to mention that He created a safety net. A safety net for females, for women, so that they are protected at all times. And one of the means to protect a woman in Islam is to set aside an amount of money, and the woman in Islam is not obligated to use that money to spend on her family. She is not obligated to spend any of that inheritance on the family. These are some of the pointers in terms of inheritance and wills that we should always remember to give instructions to our families, to always refer to the imam or the scholar to help them in these kind of cases where a person passes away, to help them distribute this inheritance in accordance to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed. And it is not for us to distribute it in any which way. And to conclude, in terms of how much a person would get, nowadays, this is the easy part. There are apps and websites where if you enter all the information, it will calculate everything for you. So this is probably the easiest part of the issue. If you want to calculate how much a person would get, they just have to enter the correct information. Obviously, the app or the website cannot guess how many members are in this family, how many children, if this person has a wife or not, if this person has some type of property or wealth or assets that others don't know about. So obviously we have to be able to know all the assets and all the wealth, all the money that are left by this person, and enter it into the system, and also all surviving members that are to inherit. And if we enter the information properly, obviously we will get the proper and correct division. And I hope by this message to raise awareness when it comes to the will and inheritance that is causing so much division within families, and as I mentioned, the cutting of ties, and people not talking to each other, and for something that we are not going to take with us to our grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who listen and obey, make us of those who see the truth and follow it, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us all. And subhanakallahumma hamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.